Good morning, grade 10 students, and welcome to this English class. It's a Grammar 8A, Passive Voice Part 1. Take your student books on page 100 and let's start our lesson. In this lesson, we will cover 3 learning objectives. Number 1, identify the structure and the uses of the passive voice through examples accurately. Number 2, practice the uses of the passive voice through answering 7CR questions correctly. And number 3, to produce a paragraph to describe pictures using the passive voice accurately. As a starter to the lesson, let's read the sentences below and answer the questions. The school children plant these trees. What is the subject here? Excellent. It's the school children. Question 2. Did the subject do the action? Is he active here? The school children, are they active here? Very good. The school children are active. They carried out the action. So the subject is the doer of the action. Last question. Is the focus in this sentence on the doer or on the action of planting? Think about the answer. Excellent. The doer is more focused on in this sentence. Dear students, this is the active voice. Sentence number 2. The meeting is cancelled by Mr. Khalid. What is the subject? Excellent, it's the meeting. And did the subject here do the action? Is the subject active here? Excellent. The subject is not active here. It is not the doer. It received the action and it's unknown or unimportant. The meeting here is not the doer of the action. Last question. So is the focus here in this sentence on the doer or in the action? Think about the answer. Very good. The focus here is on the action, the cancellation of the meeting, and not on the subject, the meeting itself. Dear students, this is the passive voice. One more example here. The students' paintings were pinned on the wall by the teacher. What is the subject? It's the students' paintings. Very good. And is it an active subject? Very good. It is not active. It is not the doer. Question number 3. Is the subject more important than the action of pinning? Excellent. No, the action is more emphasized than the student's paintings itself. Time to open the books and do activity A. The question is, look at the extract below from the text and answer the following questions. In ancient China, several walls were built over 2,700 years ago. The first question, who built the walls and why is the subject, the doer, not mentioned? Think about the answer. Excellent. The doer is not mentioned here. It is not important or it's not known. Here in this context, the doer is not known. Question number 2. When were the walls built? Very good. 2,700 years ago. And last question. What do we call this form and why do we use it? Excellent. It's the passive voice. Use it to emphasize the action rather than the doer. Here, the action of building the wall is more emphasized than the doer of the action. So, when do we use the passive voice? You will find it summed up in your grammar reference on page 141. It's used to emphasize the action rather than who or what is responsible for it. Is the difference between the active voice and the passive voice clear for you? Let's check our understanding. Which sentence is in the active voice and which is in the passive and why? Pause the video, think about the answers, and we correct together. Let's correct. Sentence 1. He wrote 3 books. Is this active or passive? Excellent. This is an active sentence. Why? Because he, which is the subject, performed the action of writing. And the doer is more emphasized and important than the action in this sentence. How about sentence 2? My bag was stolen. Very good. It's the passive voice. Why is it the passive? Because the action of stealing my bag is more emphasized and important than the doer. Together, let's figure out the structure of the passive voice after reading these 2 sentences. The first sentence. The meeting is cancelled by Mr. Khalid. The meeting is the subject. Very good. Plus verb to be plus cancelled, which is past participle, and Mr. Khalid is the agent. Very good. What do you notice? Verb to be is made here in which tense? Excellent. Verb to be should be in the appropriate form required by the sentence context. Sentence 2. The subject is the student's paintings, and the verb is always, like in the first sentence, made of verb to be plus past participle, were pinned, and the teacher is agent. Excellent. Again, verb to be here is in the appropriate form required by the sentence context. What is agent? What does it mean? Excellent. The agent is the person who carries out the action, and it is often preceded by the preposition by. In the active sentence, the agent was the subject. You may ask yourself which changes occur when we move from the active voice to the passive voice. We are going to highlight the changes in this example and the example that follows. Let's read the sentence together. Jack writes an article daily. Active voice. When we change it into the passive, it becomes an article is written by Jack daily. Which changes occurred to the subject and object? Can you figure out? Very good. Here, the subject becomes agent and the object becomes subject. Change number 2. What about the verb? What happened to verb writes here in the present simple? Very good. Here the verb was made of one part, writes. It becomes made of 2 parts. Verb to be in the present simple, like in the active here, plus past participle of the same verb in the active sentence. And what if the verb in the active sentence is in the past simple? Let's read this example. Mr. Khalid cancelled the meeting. What do you notice? Which changes occurred to the object and subject? Good. Like in the previous sentence, the subject becomes agent and the object becomes a subject. How about the verb? We said here it's in the past simple. How did it change in the passive? How many parts are there here? Excellent. The verb is made of 2 parts, which are to be in the past simple was, like here, past simple, plus the past participle of the verb in the active sentence. What about the verb in this sentence? Let's read it together. The students have visited the museum. It's the present perfect. Very good. Let's figure out the changes in the passive. For the subject and object, it's always the same. As you can see, the subject becomes very good agent and the object becomes a good subject. Back to our verb. Here the verb is in the present perfect. So what do you notice here in the passive? To be is also in the present perfect. And what follows this verb to be? Excellent, it's the past participle of the verb in the active sentence. Here we have a different structure. We have a modal verb. She will prepare a cake. What changes occur to the verb in this example? Regarding the subject and object, it's always the same. Subject becomes agent, object becomes subject. What about the verb? Excellent. The verb is always made of verb to be plus past participle. But when we have a modal verb, we keep it at the beginning of the verb phrase. So, modal verb plus be plus past participle of the verb in the previous sentence. And now, dear students, pause the video, read the table below, and complete the rule about the formation of the passive voice. Let's correct. The passive voice is formed with the verb. Which verb comes in the first position? Excellent, it's verb to be in the appropriate form, and the excellent, the past participle of the verb in the sentence. Shall we practice? Let's do it. Change the sentences below from the active to the passive. Pause the video and try to do it alone. Let's correct. My mother has cleaned the room. The subject is my mother. The object is the room. How do we start the sentence? Very good. With the object. And my mother becomes agent. How about the verb? Has cleaned. Excellent. We take verb to be in the present perfect plus the past participle of verb clean. Excellent. So the correct answer is the room has been cleaned by my mother. Let's do the second sentence. How did you answer this? I will fix the car. Excellent. The correct answer is the car will be fixed by me. So I became object here, agent. The car became subject, and the verb is made of modal verb plus be plus past participle. Another question. Change the sentence below from the passive to the active now. The sentence is, the picture was drawn by Amina. Think about the answer. Very good. Amina drew the picture. Here, the verb is made of to be in the past simple plus past participle of verb draw. So, with the original verb in the active was in the past simple, like verb to be here. Back to our student books and let's do activity D. Complete the text with the correct passive form of the verbs in brackets. The first has been done for you. Pause the video, try to do it alone, then we correct. Let's correct. After the success of last year's Plant a Tree Day, a bigger event has been organized by the local Department of Parks and Recreation this year. Now, last year, 5,000 trees, and we have verb to plant. Last year. So, in which tense should we put here the passive form? Very good. The past simple. Verb to be should go in the past simple plus past participle of verb plant. So the correct answer is excellent. Where planted. In parks all around the city. This year we want to try and reach 10,000. This verb to achieve. If we all help. We have conditional. Type 1. If plus present. So verb achieve should go in excellent, the future simple. And here we talk about the use of modal verb. So what is the structure? Very good. Can or will plus be plus past participle. So for that time or that aim, all the local schools and universities, verb to ask, to get involved. Plural noun. So, have been asked. Very good. The action started in the past and is still continuing. All equipments. Verb provide by the Department of Parks and Recreation. So which tense do we need here? Excellent. We need the future. The event didn't yet happen, so will be provided. Volunteers of any age can join in the fun. Last year, again, it's the past. Verb to ask. Excellent. We're asked to bring picnic lunches. But this year, a barbecue will be very good, organized. It will be a wonderful event. Let's make use of the learned structure to write a paragraph about how to face pollution, dear students, by the government, environmental organizations, and individuals. These pictures can help you write your paragraph using the passive voice. You have here strict laws to be passed, cleaning up the world, recycling plastics, and using public transport. Write your paragraph and share it on Microsoft Teams with your friends. That's all for today. Thank you.